Chapter 16. The burden of not letting go. Why do people hoard? If you want to understand a person's mind, don't begin by opening their diary. Begin by opening their garage. That may sound like an unusual place to discover the human mind, but over the years, I have come to believe there is more truth in that statement than we realize. The longer I have lived, the more I have noticed that our homes quietly become a reflection of our inner world. Walk into almost any house, you will learn something about the people who live there. Some homes feel peaceful before anyone speaks. Some feel heavy even though nothing appears wrong. Some are filled with light, others are filled with darkness. The physical world is often a silent photograph of the mental world. As our thoughts accumulate, our possessions often do the same. As our fears multiply, the material world is the same. As our insecurities grow, so do the closets. Without realizing it, we begin storing outside what we cannot resolve inside. I learned this lesson not from books, but from watching people around me. The two neighbors who live only a few houses apart. Both spent their entire lives collecting, yet their endings could not have taught a more profound lesson. The first neighbor was known throughout our neighborhood. Every year more things appear. Old furniture, broken appliances, boxes stacked against the walls, plastic containers that might someday become useful, clothes that no longer fit, magazines from decades ago. The garage were already full, so the patio became another storage room. Eventually, walking through the house meant weaving around piles that reached almost to shoulder height. At the first glance, people thought she simply disliked throwing things away, but after speaking with her many times, I realized the objects were never the real story. She is lonely, her health slowly declined. Her world became smaller each year. The more fragile she felt inside, the more tightly she held on everything around her. Every object seems to whisper, "Keep me, you may need me one day." Yet that day never came. Instead, the house became heavier. Cleaning became impossible. Walking became difficult. Peace quietly disappeared beneath the weight of accumulated things. The second neighbor lived a different life but arrived at a similar destination. She worked hard on her life. She was disciplined, responsible, and careful with money. She bought beautiful furniture, collectible fine dishes, saved family keepsakes. Everything has sentimental value. Nothing could be given away. Her home became a museum of yesterday. Then something heartbreaking happened. Alzheimer's disease slowly erased the memories she had spent her lifetime trying to preserve. She no longer recognized the treasures she once protected. Eventually, her family had no choice but to move her into a nursing home. Her house sat empty, month after month, year after year. The curtains remained closed. Dust slowly settled over every carefully collected possession. The furniture patiently waited for someone who would never return. One afternoon, I walked past that quiet house. The silence was almost painful. I found myself wondering how many years had she spent protecting everything inside these walls, and now none of it could protect her. That abandoned house taught me one of the deepest lessons of my life. We spend decades believing we own our possessions, yet in the end, our possessions quietly own us. The tragedy was never that she accumulated beautiful things. The tragedy was believing those things could preserve a life that was always meant to keep moving. As I reflected on both neighbors, I realized something. Every one of us is a hoarder. The one difference is what we collect. Some collect antiques, others collect achievements. Some collect money, others collect disappointments. Some keep own clothes, others keep own guilt. Some cannot throw away broken furniture, others cannot release broken relationships. Some save every receipt, others save every insult to anyone who ever spoken to them. Our houses become crowded, so do our minds. Every unresolved hurt becomes another unopened box. Every resentment becomes another dusty shell. Every fear becomes another closet that cannot quite be closed. Then, one day, we wonder why life feels so heavy. It is difficult to move freely through life when every room inside us is already full. Carl Jung once observed that what remains unconscious continues to direct our lives. I believe our homes often reveal what our consciousness is quietly holding. We are not merely organizing objects, we are organizing fear, fear of not having enough, fear of being forgotten, fear of growing old, fear of becoming insignificant, fear of loneliness, fear of tomorrow may not provide what today has given. So we accumulate, not because we need more, because we trust less. When I was a little girl growing up in Vietnam in a family of 12 children, we lived with very little. Nothing was wasted. Every bowl of rice mattered. Every piece of clothing had another purpose. Those experiences taught me gratitude, but I also discovered something years later. Scarcity has the way of surviving long after poverty has disappeared. Many people leave difficulty circumstances. Every few leave the fear those circumstances created. Sometimes the body escapes, the mind never does. Perhaps that is why some people continue collecting long after they have more than enough. They are still trying to feed yesterday's hunger. Yet yesterday can never be satisfied with today's abundance. Because of the hunger was never in the stomach, it was in the heart. That is why awareness changes everything. Most people think awareness means becoming someone different. I no longer believe that. Awareness is not about becoming someone else, someone new. It is about seeing clearly enough to stop carrying what was never truly yours. The fear you inherited, the beliefs you borrow, the expectations placed upon you, the guilt you have rehearsed for years, the identity built from own wounds. None of these were your true self. They were simply boxes you agreed to carry. The remarkable thing is this: the moment you become aware, you no longer have to keep carrying them. Life begins to feel lighter, not because you have gained something, because you have released something. Nature has always understood this. Trees let go of their leaves every autumn. Clouds never try to hold the rain forever. The river keeps flowing because it refuses to keep yesterday's water. Only human beings believe that holding on creates safety. Yet the opposite is often true. Holding on creates suffering. Letting go creates space. And space is where peace quietly enters. As I grow older, my definition of wealth has changed. When I was young, I believed wealth meant having more money, more success, larger house, more possessions. But now I see life differently. A fulfilled life is not measured by how much we accumulate. It's measured by how little we need in order to experience peace. Less clutter, less resentment, less comparison, less fear, less proving, less carrying. The older I become, the more I treasure empty spaces, an uncluttered room, an open afternoon, a quiet mind, a forgiving heart. These cannot be purchased, yet they are richer than anything money can buy. Perhaps this is one of the reality's greatest paradoxes. We spend the first half of our life adding education, possessions, titles, responsibilities, recognition. Then, if we are fortunate, we spend the second half learning the beautiful art of subtraction, removing what no longer matters, releasing what no longer serves us, making room for what have always mattered: love, presence, health, peace, joy. In the end, no moving truck follows a funeral procession. No title accompanies our final breath. No collection comes with us. What remains is the person we became while carrying on those things. And perhaps that is the quiet invitation life has been offering all along. Do not spend your years trying to fill every empty corner of your house. Instead, illuminate the empty spaces within your heart, because a peaceful mind has every little need for access. And a fulfilled life is not created by accumulating more. It is created by finally discovering the freedom of less. Thank you so much, and I hope you understand this chapter and start thinking of your life about what have you been hoarding, both mentally and physically. Thank you.